Hi guys, Ginger Bandine here with another Data Fun Friday. I can't believe it's Friday already, you guys. The weeks are going by so fast. So today I thought we would take a little bit of time and mess around, have some fun, play with some data related to a couple things. One is length of stay and the other is kind of service intensity, like how often are people receiving services, how frequently, how much time is going between services, between people accessing services. So let me just get set up here. Okay, so here is my SQL query all ready for us to look at. And all I've done here is just use some of the things we've already talked about in some of our other Data Fun Fridays. So I'm adding up the number of days since the last service and dividing by the count of services to get kind of an average. So that would be sort of the average days between services by client. And then I'm just doing some calculations. Min and max are kind of handy SQL tools that you can use to find the first or last of something. So I'm doing a minimum of the date of service to find the first service, a max of the date of service to find the last service. I'm doing a difference, finding the difference between those dates to find the length of stay. And then doing how many month length of stay by just a simple divide by 30. You could do it fancier. That's just sort of a ballpark about how many months someone has been open in services. And again, that's not open in services. That's just about how many months have gone on between the person's first date of service and the person's last date of service. Which can be a handier way to look at things because sometimes your data can get kind of skewed if you're looking at all of time. And then I'm just counting the number of services, adding up how much time of service a person has received, doing some little calculations to divide that up by how much service per month. So both services per month and the amount of time per month. And then I'm just bringing over a couple other things that we could sort the data by. So service program, and then I just made a little label here called meds, which is super basic. I'm just linking to the med table, and this is in the Credible Behavioral Health System. Just doing a really quick little left join to meds. And all I'm doing is saying that a person who, there's this little case one statement here that says that if there's nothing in the meds table, we'll just say no meds. But if there's something in there, we'll say meds. And it'll just be another little way of kind of slicing and dicing our data. So that's all I did. And as you can see, I used my little trick where I made a little query. I know this sample data set has some weird dates in there, so I just went ahead and eliminated anything that happened before 2015. And then I sort of put that query inside my larger query. And then just to get rid of some anomaly data, I just went ahead and said, don't include services if it's been over 150 days or more between services, because that probably means that it was a new episode of care. So we'll just eliminate those big long gaps, because otherwise that'll really throw your average off. So then I just select all that into a table, and then we'll hop over to Power BI and I'll show you what I did to visualize some of that. So these are just some examples of how you could play around a little bit, and I've been playing around a little bit today with, I wanted to show you this really cool thing you can do in Power BI actually, which is anytime you're using a date in Power BI, it automatically does this thing where you can drill down two different ways. So if you use this little drill down here that has a fork in it, it'll just keep drilling down over time. So see, it starts in 2017 and goes to 2019. And it's really nice for seeing trends over time. You can get down to really granular data. This is all the way down to probably the date of service. I'm going to go back up now and I'm going to show you this other thing it has. It's a really cool feature. If you use the two arrows next to each other, what it does is it takes the data, it matches it to the previous whatever section of time. So if you just wanted to look at about do we have longer between dates of service during certain months, that's what you could do here, because this would be year over year. So this would be May in any year. What's the average days between services? And in this example, it's 18. There's a little bit less gap between services in April. And if you look at this data, it totally makes sense that there would be perhaps a little longer gap in December, a shorter gap in January and February. May is the biggest one. Kind of makes me wonder if there's people taking vacations or if there's maybe some school-based programs in here. Then down here, I've got count of services, the average services per month, and then I'm showing this by program and by the count of clients. So most people are in this data set are getting 0, 1, 2. These are all pretty small numbers. And then a few people are getting all the way up to 50 or 100 services per month. And you could do some things to kind of filter that data out, but I thought it was kind of interesting to show that. Then over here, we've got this nice, I love these dot diagrams. That's not the right word for them, but you know what I mean. Because you can really see trends in there. In this one, I've just done length of stay, so that's how long someone's been open. Just to clarify, it's how long between their first service and their last service in this data set. And then the average number of services per month. And you can see there's some trends here. So people in this like dark green program, the different colors are programs, there's some folks who have had a lot of services and had a pretty short length of stay. And that is actually pretty interesting because it makes me wonder if that's sort of a short-term intensive program. So green is 450. And so I've got these filters down here that should play across all of my graphs. So let's just click 450 for fun. And yeah, isn't that nice? So it's showing you that like most people have a pretty short length of stay in this program but get a lot of services. It's probably a more intense program. And over here, you can see your trend over time. We can drill this back up to the top. Over time, there's been longer length of stay between programs. But if this is something like a detox or a rehabilitation program that's 30 days, that might not be as relevant. And then average services per month and by the number of clients. It does make me wonder if there's a lot of variation there. That's kind of interesting. So then I just have this other little filter, which we talked about, which is meds or no meds. So just to kind of compare, what's nice, Power BI does this where it'll kind of show you what proportion, where it compares to the whole. So probably fewer, let's see, about half the clients maybe are people who are receiving meds, and then we can look at no meds. And you can kind of see how this chart kind of rotates a little based on that, and could give you some interesting information about how folks are how treatment's being set up. So I'll just go back to selecting all, and let's just select a different program and just kind of, it really can see that like you could start to look at patterns, look at anomalies. You can see in this example, this might be a program where there's maybe a kind of a group of folks who have been in services for a long time and who maybe get right around between 10 and 20 services per month. There's a program with a lot of variation, quite a little bell curve going on here with average services per month. This program probably hasn't been open as long, but yeah, so this is just one way you could kind of play around with your data. Thought it would be kind of fun to look at, just using some basic stuff that we've talked about previously. So let me know if you have any questions about this, if you have other ideas for future Data Fun Fridays. You can leave a comment below, or you can email me at ginger@missiondrivendata.com. If you're interested in any of the other projects that I'm working on, you can check that out at my website, which is missiondrivendata.com. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, thanks. Have a great weekend.